But back to
the reason why I spend time on my family history, my parents, my grandparents, and actually in the case of my father's side of the family, my great-grandfather,
right,
who was a slave in South Carolina. He fought in the Union Army after emancipation. And after the end of the Civil War, a white soldier, a white officer, gave him the opportunity to get a basic education in Massachusetts. And then he came back to South Carolina. He was a teacher. He ultimately got his divinity degree from Lincoln University in Pennsylvania, and then went on to found a school in New Jersey called the Bordentown School, which for 70 years, from the late 1880s to just after Brown versus the Board of Education in 1955, educated generations of African Americans, not only in vocational and technical skills, but in college preparatory courses. And this Bordentown School in New Jersey attracted Albert Einstein, Eleanor Roosevelt, Mary McLeod Bethune. I mean, I go all the way back to him and then my parents and grandparents because their history and their experience truly defines who I am. As the granddaughter of immigrants from Jamaica who went to Portland, Maine in 1912 with literally nothing, no education, but just the hunger and the ambition that so many immigrants bring to this country. My grandfather was a janitor, my grandmother was a maid, and they had 5 children, and they saved and they scraped, and they sent all 5 of their kids to college.
Ford Bowdoin.
My grandfather was the first man to have 4 sons attend Bowdoin. 2 became doctors, 1 a university president, 1 an optometrist, and then my mother, the youngest, who couldn't go to Bowdoin because she was a girl, this is in 1950, ended up having to go to some lesser school called Radcliffe. And she went on to be a pioneer in the field of higher education and higher education finance. She was known as the mother of the Pell Grant because she was instrumental in the establishment and the sustainment of the Pell Grant program, which enabled 80 million Americans, has enabled to date 80 million Americans to,
including me, by the way,
go to college.
When I read that, I owe a lot to Susan. I would never have worked in the Obama administration if not for Susan Rice. But I now know that I also owe my Stanford education to her mother because of the Pell Grant. So that was great to read.